Welcome back to Am I Tesla Guy? And this is an especially exciting video because it is coming up on Christmas time. And as we've come to expect as Tesla owners, we have the 2022 holiday update that started rolling out to cars just a few days ago. And we have it, and it's got some pretty exciting updates. So let's dig right into it. Hey there, thank you so much for coming back for another video. Like I said, we just got the 2022 Tesla holiday update in our Model Y, but I do want to point out this is a 2022 Model Y performance. That is important when it comes to this update because different cars will get different updates based on the year of the car. Some of it's based on the orientation of the screen that's in the car. Some is based on the processor that the car has. Our 2020 Model 3 has not received it yet. That car is on the full self-driving beta build. It will be interesting also because that car has the Intel Atom processor and this Model Y has the AMD Ryzen processor, and some of the upgrades are limited to the Ryzen when it comes to the Model 3 and Model Y. But without further ado, let's actually get into the update. First up for us is Apple Music. Now, I know this is one that has been requested by many in the Tesla community out there. I think most prominently Tesla Raj. If you're not familiar with who that is, I will link to his channel in the description below. Let me just show you how you get that set up real quick and kind of what it looks like. All right, now I've already got it put in the tray down here, but if you don't have it there, you can click the little three dots and it will be up here. All right, so I will click that. And that's going to bring you to this. I will just hold my phone up there, click on that link, and it will take you to a web page to get activated with Apple. It'll bring you to a screen where you have to authenticate it. Now I'm going to do the authentication off screen here, so bear with me one moment. Signed in, and then let's see on the screen, it should show up. There you go. Now I'm going to turn my volume all the way down so I don't have any issues with copyright and everything. But you can see this is kind of the view you have here. You got listen now, recently played. So if I go to library for me, it gives you a lot of the common things. You got playlists, artists, albums, songs. It's definitely not like the full-fledged Apple Music app that might be on your iPhone or your iPad, but it's got quite a bit. So you go playlist, and then I've got a Christmas favorites playlist, and you know, we can play one of these and you'll see it pop up and start playing, although the volume is down, so you're not going to actually hear it because I don't want a copyright strike. And it plays. Now, one thing I found interesting, there is a new user interface thing. See how I just minimized that and it's gone. Thinking, oh my gosh, where is it? Mike, you see the whole map. Down here is a little button. If you just press that, now the music plays over here. And we actually have cards again. You can swipe. This is going to be efficient. You got current drive since the last charge, your odometer, and then you swipe one more and you got the tire pressure. So Tesla has been listening, and it might not have been as quick as some people have wanted, but we do have the cards back. I really like this setup where the music comes down here. So that gives you an idea. I do want to show you real quick. You can scroll up on that as well, and that will give you your sources. And then you also have recents and favorites. One of the things I noticed is that I believe with Spotify, let me go to that real quick and just play something. In Spotify, it actually shows you kind of like the next songs that are coming up. But when you do Apple Music, you do not have that next one. So I would imagine that's something that's pretty easy to fix in the future with a software update. But there you go. That's just a quick run through of Apple Music, how you get it set up in your Tesla, and a little bit of how the interface works. All right, next up on the list is Zoom meetings. Yes, you heard that correctly. You can actually use Zoom natively in your Tesla. Here's what we got going on. So this little three dot thing here, you click on that and you'll see there is now a Zoom app. And this is one of the things I believe not all cars are getting. So you go into Zoom. I have not done it yet. I'm not going to walk through this whole thing, but you can sign in. I have already seen some videos and some photos online of people who are doing this. It actually uses the center camera that's up above your rear view mirror. So I do think the aspect of kind of where you're, you know, it kind of looks like you're looking up, but you know, I guess that's not any worse than when you're using a laptop or something and the screen is down here and you're looking at the webcam that's up here. It is pretty cool to have it in your car. Do I think I'll ever use this? I don't know. I could see myself using it in a pinch. So there you have it. You now have a Zoom app built right into the car. All right, now the next one is pretty cool. Also, some proof that Tesla's been listening to feedback from owners, and that is if you leave your car and your car is in either dog mode or it has Sentry mode enabled and it is on, you can actually now remotely view the interior camera, assuming your car has the interior camera, from the app. So you first have to make sure that it's actually enabled. So to do that, here's what you do. You go into the car controls here and you go to safety, right there, view live camera via mobile app. And then let's take a look at what that looks like. So when you go into the app itself, you'll see you've got kind of the live camera thing there. You end up clicking on that. Now you've got a dot right, looks like it's kind of right in the middle of your windshield. If you click that, you'll end up seeing the interior of your car. And what goes along with that, I'm going to point it out since we're right on the screen there. If you look down at the bottom of that screen, you will see that there is, it looks like a slight breeze in the word fart. Yes, you can actually remotely cue your car to fart in real time. I think it's fun. I think it's kind of cool on the whole fart thing. I definitely think it is not only cool, but there's a lot of utility in being able to use that interior camera, especially in dog mode. Especially in dog mode, if you're leaving your dog in there, just make sure the dog is doing okay and isn't destroying the interior car. So another really cool feature that I have seen a lot of people request online, and now we've got it in the holiday update. All right, next up is scheduled light shows. If you are not familiar with the light show feature of the Teslas, I think most of the vehicles have it, but maybe not all of them. That is the one that is similar to what the Model X used to be the only one that had, where it can open the doors and flash the lights and move the mirrors and everything like that to music. And the cool thing is, I believe it was actually last year's holiday update, so you want to make sure to watch that video if you haven't already. I'll link to it in the description or up over here somewhere. They mentioned that there's an application you can use to actually make custom light shows, and a lot of people have done that. There's actually some interesting websites that are serving as a repository of those, and they're really cool. I will link to as many of those as I have in my browser favorites down below, so you can go check those out if you want to do that. You go into the toy box, and if you go to light show and you click on that, now it actually allows you to schedule the light show. And that is pretty cool because it will let you schedule it for up to 10 minutes in advance, or you could watch a multi-core orchestra by setting them to start simultaneously. It used to be you'd press the button to start it, you'd get out as soon as you close your door. It gave, I think, about a 5-second countdown, and then it would automatically start it. Well, now you can actually schedule it. All right, next up is climate control fan speed, and a relatively minor update, but one that is useful nonetheless. And what it means is you can actually now, when you're in the auto setting for your climate control, you can actually still set the speed of the fan. What they mean by that is you tap on that to bring up your climate controls. You'll see I'm in auto, but over here, it will actually let me change fan speed. And what it used to do is when you would change the speeds there, it would kick you out of auto. So now you can change fan speeds while you are still in the auto climate control. Hey, if you don't mind, real quick, if you are enjoying this video and getting value out of it, if you wouldn't mind clicking the thumbs up, give me a like down below, and consider subscribing so you see all the future videos, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Next up is they have built in MyQ garage door functionality into the car now. If you're not familiar with that, MyQ is a system that you can use to remotely access your garage door opener. Some of the garage door openers actually have it built into the opener itself. In our case, it was a relatively cheap, I think it was like 30 or 40 bucks thing that we plug in by the garage door opener and then set it up with our garage door opener, and we can remotely control it. So from the MyQ app, I could actually open our garage door at home right now if I wanted to. Well, now that is natively built into your vehicle. This is an update that if you have a MyQ, it could be pretty exciting for you. It works a lot like the HomeLink setup, a little bit different, but similar to the HomeLink setup. The only bummer is there is going to be a cost on it. I will put it on the screen right now as we're talking about it, as soon as I go look it up and add it. We have HomeLink, so I'm not really going to use the MyQ thing, even though we have that on our garage door opener, but I will at least show you how you get to that. So you click the controls for the car here, and you go to this little button right here, kind of looks like a garage door that's closed. And that brings up, for us, that brings up the HomeLink settings. But you'll see there, you've got a link to MyQ account. So if I click on that, similar to the Apple Music thing, you'll do this, it will take you, you'll log in, and you'll give it authorization to connect with your Tesla. And I will make sure to link to a video of somebody doing that down below, so you don't actually have to search. But that gives you a great option for a sort of HomeLink setup without having to get HomeLink. All right, next up, auto turn signals. I will say this is actually not something that I thought of as a feature, but because it is a feature now, I have tried it out and I am liking it with one caveat. Before I get to the caveat, what is it? It is just an option you toggle to. I'll show you how to do that momentarily. And then when you're changing lanes on the highway or anything like that, you will put your turn signal on. It will know when you're done changing the lane, and then it automatically turns the turn signal off. Is that a huge problem to turn the turn signal off yourself? Probably not, but if you're like me or worse, it's not uncommon for me to actually forget to turn off the turn signal, which is why I use the light tap more often than not, just to get the 3 blinks. But let me show you real quick how you enable this if it's something that you plan on using. You will go to the controls there, and then you go to lights and scroll down, auto turn signals. You just set that to auto cancel, and they will automatically cancel after you get into the lane you want to be in. The caveat is this. What I found is, let's say you're driving along and you need to get into a left turn lane. You're coming up to maybe a stoplight or something, and there's a left turn lane. If you put it on all the way, and then you get over into the turn lane, and then you center yourself, it's not going to keep the turn signal on. It's going to auto cancel it. So in that case, you've got to remember to put your turn signal back on. Otherwise, now you're sitting in a turn lane or intending to turn, and your turn signal is not on. So just keep that in mind if this is a feature that you end up enabling. All right, next up is something I think we've come to all expect when it comes to a holiday update, and that is at least one game. In this case, for our car, 2022 Model Y, there is one game, and that is Mahjong. So if I go in here and I go to the arcade, I will see Mahjong right there. If you're not familiar with what that is, look it up, because I don't know how to describe it. I used to play it a decent amount when I was a kid growing up, just played it on computer. Never played like the real thing with the tiles, but now you've got one more game there. This is also a point where I'm going to point out that if you have a really new Model S and Model X, they actually added in Steam. Steam is a platform for games, and you get access to a ton of them, and it effectively makes your car a Steam console, which is pretty amazing. I know on YouTube, Dirty Tesla, I believe their Model X has this. I've seen him post some screenshots. Hopefully he will do a video on it, because I can only imagine how cool that feature is going to be. It might just go out in your garage and sit in your car just to play games. If he has posted a video about that, by the time that this video comes out, I will put a link to that in the description below. But in our case, we got Mahjong. Add it to the list of all the games that are on there. Next one up. This is the biggest one for me, because we have a Model Y Performance. Model Y Performances now have track mode. Yes! You're probably thinking, why would you take a little SUV on a track anyway? Well, I did it once already without track mode. I did it this past summer at a Tesla Owners Club of Michigan event on the east side of the state here in Michigan. I will link to that up here and in the description below if you want to go check out some of that footage. It's probably not as exciting as you might think it is, but it was still a ton of fun. But now I got track mode. Let me show you how we get into that and enable it. For that, we go into controls, and then we go to pedals and steering, and we come down here and we've got track mode. So we can customize that. You've got a race preset, you've got a drift preset. So it's pretty cool. On the left side of the screen, you'll end up being able to see a G meter. There will be, you'll be able to monitor the status of the car motors, the battery, the brakes, the tires in real time, and you'll be able to have a lot of fun. What kind of fun? Let me think. So there you go, track mode. I've already had some fun with it, and I plan on having a whole lot more. Next up on the holiday features is confirm phone call transfer. If you're on a call, you end up getting in your car, it automatically wants to grab that and put it into the car to be able to hear it, and you might not want that. You might want to keep what is a private conversation a private conversation. Now, when you're getting in, it will give you some kind of a pop-up where you can determine whether you want to have that call transferred to the car. All right, next up is contact lookup. This enables you to search for contacts from a connected Bluetooth device. Access that by going into the application launcher, clicking the phone, and then going to contacts. I'm not showing you that because I can't show you all my contacts. Anyway, that's how you get into it. Allows you to search for the contacts. And because I've covered some of the other updates like the remote control of the fart mode, the last one for us in our car, as far as the holiday update, is the always on rainbow road. And that just allows your driving visualization to show rainbow road when autopilot is active. To enable that, you go to the application launcher, go to the toy box, go to rainbow road there at the end, and you would just put always rainbows. And that is when you have autopilot on with auto steer. You can see right there, that is what it'll look like. Very, very, very colorful. I'm not gonna do that, but that is how you do it. So if you really, really like Rainbow Road, you now have the ability to have it on all the time when you're in autopilot with auto steer. All right, so there you have it, the 2022 holiday update from Tesla. Very, very excited. I am looking forward to getting it in our Model 3 as soon as the holiday update comes out to the beta build of the software. I will say that most for me is the track mode. It snows here in Michigan, and you can have more fun that way because these cars handle so well in the snow with their traction control. Sometimes you just want to let loose and go old school, like when I was growing up, and just slide all over the place and do donuts. And now we can do that. Have you got the holiday update? What was the best new feature for you? What do you enjoy the most? And what do you think you'll be using the most? Maybe you got some of the features that we don't get in this car. Why don't you drop a comment down below? Let me know what you think about it. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.